Okay, so we are going to postpone the approval of the minutes until we have a quorum. And first and only item on the agenda is an update.
We have a lot of updates since our last meeting.
Okay.
So I think we might be all informally up to date, or Richard might be the lowest on the totem pole, so I guess I'll direct half of it to you. Consolidated put the grant application in for Wiscasset, one for Dresden and one for Woolwich, all separately. That deadline was September 14th. Since we met at the same time, they were using contractors to run backbone fiber to Booth Bay via Wiscasset, so connecting the Wiscasset and Booth Bay central offices. I talked to a contractor in New Hampshire that gave me that information, that they were working for Consolidated, and the guy.
So tell me again, Booth Bay and where else?
From Wiscasset's central office, right down Water Street, right on the corner to the Booth Bay central office, which they said they do typically when they're getting ready to build stuff. Where we go from there? That happened, so that's interesting. So there's some back construction that's being done, pre-grant awards. We're still hoping the grant awards are about 4 weeks away, November 29th. And then they might get formally approved the first week of December, is the thought. Since then, Tommy was alluding to it before we started the meeting, Charter Spectrum got approved during the Reach Me line extension program for $6.8 million. They did not want to follow the requirement that they have a affordable connectivity program established for all of those people. So I can't remember the number of households that it affected, if it was 4,000 households, but that frees up $6.8 million, but MCA is still looking at options for all those places that had conditionally won grant funding and hadn't gotten anything installed.
Sorry about that.
No problem. Do we want to pause and approve the minutes? Do you want to make a motion?
Motion.
I second the motion.
So moved. Oh, all in favor?
All right. Minutes approved from August 10th, correct?
Yeah. Okay. We're just zipping right through.
Zipping right through
like
some
3
updates.
months worth, 4 months, whatever it is.
Let's see, so that happened, that frees up some more funding. And then in the last week, in the last couple of days actually, we found out that there was a provider-only form of funding through the FCC, and it's another fun acronym, it's EACAM, E-ACAM, FCC program, and GoNetspeed, LCI, and TDS, which is doing construction in Warren and a few other places around Maine, applied for that funding for their ILEC areas, so where they were the primary telephone company. So for GoNetspeed, that's the Standish, Buxton area, and Gray, New Gloucester area. TDS has 6 or 7 towns, and then LCI has Noblesboro, Newcastle, Damerscott area, that's the last, in Bristol, that's the last places that
How much
they
money was allocated for that?
total that's coming to Maine is gonna be just shy of $100 million, which is pretty cool. So the neat part about that from our perspective is supposedly the areas that they applied for are their primary telephone areas that they're going to establish connections up at a minimum of 100 download, 20 upload. So if they're only doing fiber, that's good, so they meet that criteria. And it supposedly withdraws their eligibility from their ILEC territory in the BEAD funding, which is the next round of funding that's coming out. Which is both helpful for us, that it frees up additional BEAD funding, but also for Lincoln County, if they're not able to request any more county ARPA funds, then that makes Waldoboro and then our side, Wiscasset, Dresden, and then the Booth Bay Peninsula towns more competitive to get that money, or at least LCI is seemingly dropping out of consideration for that. I think that was discussed in the infrastructure grant subcommittee through MCA. And I'm looking for the notes on that, because it had however many households were in LCI's territory they were eligible for.
Where'd this pot come from? I
It's an
mean,
FCC program. We heard about it from LCI, I think in August. I went over there with Mary Ellen and our CMRB group to talk about their Noblesboro project. So they currently have an application in for Noblesboro through the Connect the Ready 2 that we're also in, that we're all in. And we're waiting for confirmation from LCI and from Chris Bonikowski at MCA as to whether that disqualifies their Noblesboro application. So I pulled it up. LCI, what they provide, what they opted into was 1,899 locations in their footprint.
so, but this money, I mean, it wasn't part of the Infrastructure Act, was it? All of a sudden-
Good question. I think it's a previous program that got refunded, and it could have been refunded through the,
So I'm confused.
go ahead,
Is this EACAM, how you say it?
E-ACAM, ACA.
EACAM funding, that doesn't directly benefit the towns here, that's just going to mean that it's less competition to bead fund.
Those providers that opted into it in there, so I haven't gotten final confirmation, but let's just say LCI, almost all of their towns have been fully built out with other main grants or other grants, so the only places realistically they have left to do are Damascotta and some of Bristol, as far as I'm concerned. So it sounds like the FCC is giving them money in a, or a loan. They get the payment over 15 years, and they have 5 years to get all those people hooked up. And by opting into this ACAM funding, they are withdrawing themselves from consideration for BEAD funding within their ILEC area. Not to say they couldn't go into a place where they're the competitive carrier. So that's welcome news for all of us, I think.
Have you gotten into the ins and outs of BEAD funding yet? Has that been discussed?
No, they've had a couple info sessions, and I haven't caught one live or got a chance to watch the video, but they have to have, the providers have to start putting in their proposals. I'm seeing what the first date they have on that. November 9th, they're supposed to have an initial proposal from carriers. And I don't know if they have in November 16th, so those are both public comment sessions.
So do we know that Consolidators put stuff in for Wisconsin?
We don't know. I think they might have that as a backup, and then a withdrawal if they receive state funding, is how I would probably assume it's gonna work.
And do you know if BEAD is written so that, I mean, if I remember, it's more restrictive than.
Well, the way that MCA changed the rules for this cohort of Connect the Ready, it's basically matches up with the BEAD funding. But their minimum, the way that they evaluate it, the company has to give them a total project cost, and they have to put in 25%. So for these companies, for our area, it probably works to their advantage to put in 25, well, that might be, they might have better odds with, depending on how rural or how dense it is, the project costs. I think it makes more sense for some companies to apply through BEAD or some to apply through MCA, but being that the MCA money's just about out,
Right,
BEAD is all they can do. But
right.
I think that entered into the calculation of how they were looking at places like us and Woolwich and Dresden. Do we wanna put something in or wait for BEAD, but.
And in terms of where we sit in the priority line for BEAD, if they don't have other groups that are high priority, does the funding allow them to go down the chain,
I
or?
don't know that answer. I think they have to do all the insert first, cover all those. And then it's a open season if there's nothing after that. I don't know if they're prepared for that.
So Dresden was pretty well assured. Yeah.
I wouldn't say they're well assured, but the odds are going up. And if they get them being the most expensive per capita of the three of our town groups, it's It's better that if it just gets done through one of these projects and then it's more funding in the next pool for us and for Woolwich. The way I see it now. And then Tommy was, so before you got here, Spectrum, we're in the connect already, but there was the Reach Me line extension program. That was just a provider thing that they did go through communities, didn't go through municipalities. Spectrum applied, got 6.8 million, but they withdrew because they didn't want to agree to the state's terms. So that freed up $6.8 million now, but simultaneously over in Woolwich in those areas, Comcast got 200,000 to hook up whatever it was.
It's like part of that, part of
Yeah.
Woolwich.
It was every little one-off on like every dead end road, so. But they haven't finalized it to anybody's knowledge.
Comcast hasn't signed the, I've been in touch with the municipal liaison guy there lately, and they haven't signed the agreement letter yet. To receive the grant.
So, a few question marks, but more money in the pot, seemingly.
It's not, that one is not much, it's
Right. Yeah,
I thought we didn't have much chance for the bead money. Because it was,
we're not there yet, basically.
because it was so.
Well, the bead money and the other thing work the same way. You can only use it for unserved but the company has to put in 25% of the total project.
Is that what they put in this round for us?
I'm not sure, percentage wise. Yeah, I knew that we only had, I don't know if you did you get an email as to what their final?
We know what the build out cost is, but we don't know how much they were proposing to put in themselves.
And I don't know we have what they put in for the Lincoln County applications, but I don't know what they actually put into the state. Cause that may have changed.
And the grant applications are not public, right?
I think we might be able to get the request and the commitment, but I don't know how much else we can get.
But I mean, the goal is to get all that money out, so
Yeah.
if people aren't applying or,
Yeah.
it seems to me something will happen with that one.
Yeah, with like that additional 6 million now.
Yeah, but I was thinking of the bead money too,
Yeah,
given how it's targeted to the
yeah,
least
I
uncertain.
think we're gonna see what happens. I think, we haven't met in that long, so something interesting that's happening privately without grant funding is GoNetspeed is building over a lot of urban areas all over the state. So, for instance, LCI was the first fiber provider in Rockland, but they only covered a few streets or like one little core area. Consolidated 2 years ago in their big first push of where they were gonna build, they built over the entire city of Rockland. Now it's come out that GoNetspeed is also overbuilding the entire city of Rockland, so there are places in downtown Rockland that have 3 fiber providers and a cable provider.
Is that true of the bigger cities too?
So they're doing that, I'm pulling up their availability map right now, just to,
Wow, nobody ever thought that.
same thing in,
Probably
Portland.
prices.
everything in Portland, they've, consolidated, built all of city of Portland, and they are building everything off peninsula. They're building into Westbrook, Gorham, Scarborough, Cape Elizabeth, Saco and Biddeford, and I think half of those places, there's already access through consolidated, or at least the whole city of Portland. So now places have 2 providers for fiber, and we still are sitting here with 0, which is great. It makes a lot of sense, everybody. So that's some of the stuff that's going on private bill, same thing in Waterville and Bangor, and they're building into, Newport.
Well, at least that would be competitive for them, I mean, in terms of prices.
It will be,
Which is, and in the past, they always, as I understood it, all these companies divided up big cities, in terms of turf, and there was one provider. So what's changed? It's just,
I think Consolidated saw the whole, and then GoNetspeed was like, we can beat that by $5 until whenever. I don't know. I don't know if it's a good idea or not, but
I
some
wonder if
places. yeah.
TWI is getting into business. I mean,
Good
you're
question.
saying they came up to, TWI came where to, you were just mentioning them.
GWI?
Oh, I thought you said they built up to, oh, it was the planning commission, you mentioned
Yeah.
it.
Oh, the,
And
down
if
there.
they built up there, why, I mean, wouldn't they be
I think it's
active
just
elsewhere?
I think it's just a one-off.
Yeah,
deal.
that didn't sound like something they would do, at least
Well,
in the past,
I think they paid,
a
I
lot.
think the county or whoever paid the cost for it. If it was $5,000-10,000, whatever it was.
So what does our county stand? with Their money,
1.1 at least million left, 1.2. And LCI and Consolidated both understood that the money needs to be allocated directly to projects by the end of 24, and that means get your ducks in a row by spring this coming year to figure out where it's actually gonna go. But, yeah, like I said, that leaves us, Waldeboro, Edgecombe, Boothbay Harbor, Southport, and Westport, and Dresden. If LCI took that program for, all their other grant funds, also Whitefield, I forget about Whitefield. Without fiber, everybody else is pretty much covered, or there's a plan going forward. So that's that update. Now our other big thing, and this is much more exciting from our point of view, is we still have our get ready funds. That's why Tommy showed up, because they have their get ready funds, and he heard back from Kendra Joe since yesterday. Great. So I reached out to Mary Ellen and Carrie Kipfer to try and get an answer from MCA as to what we can't spend the get ready money on, because it sounds like we can do some increased public Wi-Fi, buy some equipment. We can also put in some funds to make all this stuff better, but I don't know how useful or how much that's wanted or whatever, but.
Where's their plan going? Because I thought we were just gonna help them do their plan.
They got plenty of money for a plan, so we're just gonna, we want hard stuff that we want tangible things.
That will stick in the can.
Right, that's my opinion.
So the senior center, more at the library?
The library got $2,000 from our group to do, I think they're doing remote worker area, room or something, or hookup, or I'm not positive.
that was from the regional, right?
Out of the get ready money, or?
No, this is the CMRB, so the group that I'm with, which is Mary Ellen, also Maine Regional Broadband.
Isn't Saginaw Heights part of that too, though?
Yep,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
we
the
can,
library is doing a remote worker
yeah,
upgrade,
yeah, that got like 100,000
I
or
think with
something.
that same program,
Yeah, we gave them our group gave them 2,000, and then Patton and Bath is doing a lot more, because they got another huge grant from something completely independent of what we are.
So could we give some of that money to them? Digital equity?
We want tangible things.
That's not-
So what-
Because
what else is-
our group is already funding library programs, whatever the libraries wanna do, they're funding adult ed, we're doing, and other digital literacy courses. So we have the ability to,
So what's on your wish list if it were approved?
I wanna get public Wi-Fi hookups, like this parking lot, improve whatever at the rec center, one or two downtown, and then maybe at both wharves in our area,
And that
if
was-
that's all possible, and we have to figure out how it gets funded long-term in terms of, is that a supplemental internet bill at every location, or what does it mean?
And this can all be done by December 31st. The
I
money
think we
has
can
to
cut the
be,
check,
the money has to be spent by.
right? And then Tommy's doing that and getting a quote from,
Yeah, well, I'm getting vendor quotes to basically just transform the existing internet service at the town hall into publicly accessible in the parking lots
Yeah,
and all the meeting rooms. And
Is that the only real public space that makes sense, or?
yeah, in Lois, there's really no other, I mean, there's the school, but that's part of the RSU, and then there are no other real public meeting places or public, the only other, we did talk to the Baptist church, which has that giant parking lot of,
Oh, yeah.
and, because that would be a good place to do a public hotspot, but we decided not to pursue that.
Yeah,
So the Wi-Fi here won't reach outside?
no. Or if it does, it's like you can get it right at that window outside.
So if this is gonna have monthly charges, is that something the select board would have to approve?
Well, that's the question, is how do you go about it? Because what they could do is just wire, if we had the equipment to do like a outdoor router, however they do this, because there's 100 different ways to do it, then you're just running another line to a port outside that has access, then everybody in the parking lot can get it. Because that's basically what, I don't know if you might know more about this than me, but at the library, you can easily get Wi-Fi right in the parking lot and on the street. People stop there and use it all day, but
I think you could get it outside at the community center.
yeah. You might be able to, but we want to be able to get it like everywhere in these parking lots.
So why can you get it there and not get it here?
Same reason that at your house, I can't get it in your kitchen, but I can get it in your living room, just construction, just.
We have to put antennas out.
Yeah, if you want good access, you want outdoor equipment.
So you're gonna follow up, or you
Well,
need,
that's my first thought of what we should spend a little money on, and then we probably won't even spend it all just doing that stuff, but yeah. Need to talk to Dennis and then see to Dwayne, and then, I mean.
is there enough instruction and ability for people to improve their skills here besides what the library can offer remote work?
Well, that's the thing, is the CMRB group is subsidizing digital literacy courses at like every adult ed, and we're doing some other programs, so.
So no need for that.
Right, and we're going into year 2 with them, so there'll be more stuff going on. We could promote all that stuff. We could definitely use it to do one big mailer and kind of list all these things that are going on, and that there's more classes available and stuff like that. So we definitely do some public outreach on that stuff if we want, but my first thought is how much tangible stuff can we get?
Yeah,
If you guys have any other good ideas on how to spend money.
One other thing that I thought there might be value in reserving some money, but it's not gonna be, we have to spend it by December 31st, doesn't make sense. But I was thinking we would have to save some to do outreach in the event that the grants are awarded, and we're gonna have people, we're gonna have a new service for people to sign up for. So we wanna help everybody get signed up and get connected,
yeah,
but that's not gonna be.
Right, yeah, right.
So I was thinking that was part of, a couple $1,000 might be spent doing that kind of outreach, but we're not gonna know.
well, wouldn't they have a campaign?
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe,
But from what he's saying, it's just like, hey, we put in this money, something did happen with it, you'll know more soon, but this company is awarded
Yeah,
funds.
I mean,
Yeah, it would help, yeah, I get them.
there's a lot of.
And there's no way to get them to be able to carry it over again.
Not that I can tell. So it's a Brewster's Million situation, we have 2 months, less than 2 months to spend all this money before it goes away.
So we have about 8,500, yeah, Wisconsin, we've got about 8,500 to spend.
Yeah.
Is that what you got?
Have any idea what it costs to put something outside?
No, because I don't know what people are selling for outdoor equipment, basically.
Well, I had a vendor come today, and they're gonna give me a quote, and there's another one coming tomorrow. And I got a call into another network cabling place, I haven't heard back from, but.
If you want to forward those people my way, I can make some phone calls.
Sure.
And I'll talk to Dennis and Dwayne about their buildings, and then from your point of view, they gave every town with a library $2,000, and I thought, well, which doesn't have a library, but they have a historical society, and that's what I was trying to gain. Our into, because I think there's one other place where they have a historical society that they're like, well, in place of the library. But I don't know how receptive that group will be.
Well, that was actually one of the problems that I was trying to solve, because that's close enough that it could probably benefit from an exterior antenna.
Yep.
Because they don't have, and they don't want to buy internet service because they're only in that building
Right.
part-time, so. So it would be, it'd be great for them to have that.
Yeah, I remember the last time I talked to them, somebody said they got rid of their internet entirely. That's true or not?
Yeah, no, they had a landline, I know they got rid of that.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how much a landline costs these days?
A lot of
Month,
money.
tell us,
I paid for it.
Thomas.
It's like $90.
It's insane.
I'm not giving mine up, it's my security.
I wanna get rid of it.
I can't find my phone unless I have
get
a
it through
landline if I lose it.
Oh, you do?
On that price, I think.
It's,
I love my landline.
the only phone calls that we get on the landline are junk.
Yeah,
It's half price through Spectrum Mobile.
What, the landline?
Yeah.
well, now you can get a VoIP phone and through anytime, and that basically, I think, works the same as the cable does, but.
So, Evan, are there any, do you have
Cable
any
goes out, that's good.
concerns about using, like, do we need to get sort of pre-approval
Well,
from?
that's what I'm waiting for, to have the rules of the Get Ready program as far as expenses go.
I mean,
What can't we do is what I wanna know.
yeah, I mean, when we had those meetings back during the application period, Kendra Joe was like, you can use it to buy meeting, Zoom cameras and microphones and video cameras and things that have to do with public communication.
Yeah,
And you told me that hotspots came up in some separate venue. I forget what context that was, but that's.
well, I think that's the same thing, any kind of public access, so if it has to be a hotspot rather than something line wired connection, then I think that fits the bill.
Yeah, so
That's been a thing too, that I think, I don't know if that fits for either of us, maybe for Woolwich, if you wanted to have hotspots available at the town office for people to loan out library style. I think that's a possibility.
Do we need that too? Loaning them out, do they already do it? I know the
Some
schools do
libraries
it.
do things, yeah, schools did that, some libraries have done things like that, but I'm just saying it's an option, I don't know if it's the first thing we
You
want
loan
to
out hotspots?
do. Yeah,
That's how they got through the
that's
pandemic.
what they did with all the kids that didn't have internet, to like, here's your own connection. Or didn't have very good internet, here's your backup. So, yeah,
well, the jargon hotspot, I guess I'm not using correctly. I just.
I meant a sub,
Publicly accessible.
Yeah,
SSID that people can pull in the parking lot and use.
yeah, I'm talking about a cellular one, but if it gets used that way, it's just, yeah, just. the same.
Right, now it's so. Okay, you're talking about using a cell phone to provide a Wi-Fi connection.
Yeah,
So I told Kendra Jo when she inquired about this, after I talked to her, I said, well, Evan
how long ago
assures
did
me,
you talk to her?
it was probably at least 3-4 weeks ago.
Okay,
And I said, Evan assures me that we can spend all that money. So that was my last communication with him.
okay,
So now we have to do it. That's the last thing they want is money back.
I got pester her. Okay. I'm gonna send her an email right now.
Do you
Yeah.
have you tried calling her?
Calling? No.
Yeah.
Does that work?
Well, I don't know. I've left messages and she's called me back. I don't know if it's any
I
better.
don't know if I even have her number, and we shouldn't say.
It should be
it
on her
out loud.
trailer or something.
It's in her signature.
Oh, is it? I have a phone number here if you want it. I don't know if it's the right one, but,
Yeah, call her right now.
well, not right now, let's, finish the meeting.
360, yeah, I got it.
Okay,
360-160.
37.
37.
Okay. So that's where we're at. There's more money, we gotta spend money. I don't know if we're any closer. What else
Do you need any help from us? No, I'm not quite sure what help I give, but.
Separate thing, Mary Ellen just sent an email, I
Oh,
think you
the
guys all
lunch,
got
the
it.
lunch, but I didn't see what that was about. I just saw it.
So we did one with Saginaw County last week. We're doing, cybersecurity event. Tommy was there. Mostly instructional about online scams, things to avoid, all that stuff. There's lunch and there's a raffle for a Kindle. So if you want
Oh, I
free
gotta
lunch
come.
or a raffle, please show up.
What time is it?
It's, let me double check that date's right. Friday, November 10th. At the CLCY in Amascotta from noon until 1:30. No, prints off.
I could use cybersecurity. I was scammed in Philadelphia.
You might like this meeting.
Yeah.
You might learn.
So that meeting was reasonably well attended, but I had no idea that it was.
Yeah, we had like, yeah, and the same thing with this one, they had like no lead time. They had like less than 2 weeks of advertising and putting it together. So we had like a dozen people that showed up at the Bath one.
Mhm.
I'm printing off a couple,
Yeah, at least a dozen.
How'd you find out about it?
cause I'm working for it.
Oh, I thought you were working for Lincoln County.
No, our group is Coastal Maine Regional Broadband, which is the regional partnership for Knox, Lincoln, and Saginaw County now.
Okay, well, I could have, forwarded to a few people.
Are you,
Well, you got the email on this one, I think.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so feel free to forward that. Hence the lunch and the raffle.
pre-lunch
You have to
raffle?
RSVP?
You can pre-register, or you can just show up day of.
Pre-lunch raffle, Kindle, sure, why, not?
It's got a path of making such a great afternoon.
yeah.
We're having the flyers.
Actually, I should ask them how many other towns outside of Lincoln County, are not going after that. Because the ones in, Waldo County, the 5 towns that would get priority because they have so many unserved, we've heard are going privately,
Oh, really?
I heard that a couple of months ago in the last, event. So how many more places aren't either doing something like that or just aren't applying?
Let's cut off some of the bottom.
And I was just saying, going back to the first piece of the agenda around, money. Who's applying for what? Have you listened to updates about other outside of Lincoln County? You know, in
For the
terms,
Connect Ready?
The Waldo County group, the 5 towns that are going private and not asking for money. I
Yeah, I
understand.
don't know what pool or what they've done or haven't done.
Because I understood from Kendra Joe, they weren't applying for this particular round.
All I know is there was 20 million available and they had 60 million in requests.
Okay, so it doesn't matter.
Right. So there'll be somebody else to fund for sure.
What program was that?
That's what we're in, Connect the Ready cohort 2. So much to remember.
It takes away one of their priorities for least funded or least served, so who knows?
Yeah.
So, and who's actually leading this?
So Lincoln County Sheriff's Office on the front, and then also Boomer Tech Adventures, which is a company that does digital education classes. They do tech support. They have like a monthly program. You can call them for like $5 a month. You can call them all the time with your problems.
Oh, really? Are they new or are they national?
They are run by 2 or 3 guys that are retired. One of them is Chris Toy. He's kind of a well-known guy. He is a author and chef, and he does like private dinner and cooking instruction classes.
He does a lot of the adult ed stuff.
Yep, so that's what they do through this. They do their Boomer Tech Adventure company through adult ed primarily, and then they'll also do custom classes for groups and things like that. So they seem like they're pretty into it. We had at the Saginaw County one, we had Burgess Technologies, which they do a lot of the IT work for all the different municipalities and a few, I think, companies around here. And basically just reiterating a lot of the same issues they have when the sheriff's department hears about crime scams, and then they end up having to go and fix things when computers fall apart or get viruses. They often are the people that work on them, so.
Yeah, I used to have an IT department that did that.
Yeah.
Don't got it anymore.
Where are you guys based? Where's Boomer Tech based?
Boomer Tech, I'm on the website right
I'm
now.
on their website too.
Oh, are
I see
you?
where they are.
Well, I know that, Chris is out of Freeport, Brunswick, Bath area.
So it's not,
I don't know if they have one individual physical location.
they don't even say that. There's not much of a clue that it's even in Maine.
Right, yeah. And there's another, outfit nationally called Boomer Tech. So they're Boomer Tech Adventures,
Oh,
which is not confusing enough. So yeah, Chris Toy, Jill Spencer, and Ed Brazy are the three people that operate that group. And I think that pretty much catches us up to now. We've got to spend the money and we're waiting in the wings and stuff is moving.
And the next important date is, tell me again, when it,
November 29th is when we
29th.
think we'll know the initial approvals for Connect Already, which will be approved, finalized in early December.
write this down someplace. Oh, yeah, I got that. Okay. So, yeah, I'll plan to go on Friday. Pick up anything.
And then, on the 15th of this month, there's gonna be another broadband summit
Oh, up at this,
at Thomas College.
is there anything
Oh, really?
worth going to? Or
I don't
just-
know yet, we're all going, me, Mary Ellen, Julie, Brandon, and I think Carrie are all going, so it's,
that's what the last one was?
yeah, yeah.
Is there any,
They have not, I
Do
don't
they have
think
an
listed an agenda.
it's kind of pretty soon if there's no agenda.
Let me see, I haven't checked
It's
it.
probably under it would be Big Broadband Coalition.
Yep. The 15th, which I think is Wednesday from 9 to 4 at Thomas, and tickets are $15.
I'll take a look. I usually go to those. but-
I think we went together.
What?
Did we go together?
Yeah, we went, 2 years ago, I think. Wasn't last year. Did you go last year?
No, I was going to, but I had to go to the hospital for those days.
Or maybe it was last year.
I think it was a regular meeting, so thank you all.
Good to
Alright,
see you, Tommy.
see you, Tommy.
Take care.
Hey, Tommy, I think, you reaching out.
I guess we did go last year.
Gigi Sohn is the keynote
Oh.
speaker,
I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
SOHN.
Who is she? Is she
I don't know
federal?
who she is.
No, I think she's a big federal, much. SOHN from the FCC.
Co-founder of Public Knowledge, she is an attorney. She was a senior staff at the FCC. That's one of her biggest things, that she was a upper level person at the FCC.
Her name's familiar.
That's relevant to us. And she's on a few different boards and things. She's the host of Tech on the Rocks, a podcast focused on media, tech policy, and broadband. So, sounds like our person. These are the topics: beyond BEAD, what's next for expanding access to world-class broadband? What's your plan for digital equity? So you're connected, now what? Addressing MDUs and Maine's unique affordable housing challenges.
MDUs are,
I don't know what MDU stands for.
um,
An ADU is an accessory dwelling unit, so I don't know if that,
so why is that at the broadband, to get broadband into these
I think,
units?
maybe it's more internet capability, the more likelihood you're gonna have high density construction. Probably something like
Okay,
that.
that's interesting.
And then BEAD Volume 1, state-led challenge process, and BEAD Volume 2, sub-recipient plan and deployment, affordability, and digital equity. So those are the loose topics.
I'll take a look, I might go. Oh, we'll see.
That's the update.
And Richard will be he'll be back from Mexico.
On the 11th.
But probably not the first thing you would sign up for.
Don't worry, we'll tell you about it in 3 months. Cool, so do we want to move to adjourn?
Yeah, does anybody want to make a motion?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, so move, second, all in favor?
Aye, 3:13.
Okay, that's that. Good.